Welcome to Time to Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Ann Lucenti. If you're a new listener, I'm excited you're here. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing someone whose journey is nothing short of inspiring. The voice and vision behind an exceptional company, he has spent over a decade creating audio and video content that resonates with clients around the world. But his story is much more than just a timeline. Of achievement. Oh my God! But his story, I love.
I love
But
it.
his story is much more than just a timeline of achievements. It's a testament to passion, dedication, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. His journey began in the heart of radio, where he not only developed and produced content, but also lent his voice as an on-air talent for Between the Ropes on 90.5 FM, WUOG in Athens, Georgia. This show was a gateway into the world of professional wrestling, where he took on the role of a ring announcer, bringing the energy and excitement of the squared circle to life. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. His path then led him to invaluable experiences with World Championship Wrestling at 790 AM The Zone, where he honed his skills in promotions, communications, and live broadcasting. With a degree in journalism and a minor in English from the University of Georgia, his love for storytelling and communication only grew stronger. His time as a firefighter added another layer to his diverse career, where he used his communication skills to educate and train others, proving that his voice could save lives in more ways than one. In 2011, his passion for broadcasting was reignited at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Hold on. Sorry, I hit my arm.
That was great.
I was like,
me back in time.
Good. In 2011, his passion for broadcasting was reignited at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, where he discovered the world of voiceovers. His journey into podcasting, particularly with MMA Mayhem Radio, showcased his talent for live interviews and content creation, earning him the title of Critics and Fans' Choice for MMA Journalist of the Year in 2013 by GeorgiaFighters.com. He is not just a voiceover artist. He is a storyteller, a creator, and someone who truly understands the power of communication. It's an honor to have him here today to share his journey and his insights with all of us. So let's get the party started. Please join me in welcoming my friend, Brad Storm.
It's time to elevate. Oh, yeah.
I love
You
it.
took me back in time.
I love
That was
it.
beautiful.
Oh.
It reminds me of the good old podcast I used to host with alongside Big Jim, VO's Padded Room podcast. We do the openings, be like, hey, this person, then, and we go, rah, rah, rah. But yours is more calm and relaxed, and I like that. I like it.
Well, you've got the ringside, experience. So you've got the really.
Well, yeah. A lot of us don't pat ourselves on the back,
Right.
and a lot of us are hard on ourselves.
Mhm.
And with what you just, the introduction there, you got to give yourself credit. I have done a lot of different things, and I wouldn't change any one of them for anything, because they're battle scars, some of them, and some of them are victories. It's like, it's a real sweet thing.
It's so great. It's so great. I'm so glad. I love it because I love reading when you sent me to your bio and stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much in here. I just have to do him justice. I have to. It's wonderful. And thank you for being here. I have so many things to ask you, and here I want to hear you tell about. But before we do that, I want to say how we met. So I believe it was Clubhouse, correct?
Yeah. Wow.
Wasn't that where we met?
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago. Like, I feel like it was
5 or 6
how long?
years ago, maybe.
Maybe
Was it
maybe
5 or 6
that.
years?
I don't know.
I think it was about 4 years. Probably about 4 years.
Maybe
ago.
about 4 years. And it was it was like Monday morning things, and Corey Disson was doing and Corey, oh wait, let me show my shirt. Go get it. I got my go get it shirt on.
Corey, he is one of a kind.
Yeah.
He is one of a kind for sure.
Yeah. They were, it was motivating. Like, I got on the Monday morning ones. They were early in the morning, and it started the week. And I remember it was great because we can interact and get all these great ideas. So yeah, I'm glad I met. So I got to meet people like you, which is so cool. It's so cool. Everything.
Yeah, well, you never know where you're going to meet people. I mean, networking is so important, whatever business you're running or just being social. And,
Mhm.
there's studies out there. I just read today that if you're always home alone and you're not interacting with other people, that might even age you faster
Oh, wow.
than the regular human being that's with family and with friends and likes to
Yes.
interact and talk and let go of some pain or let go of
Yes.
things that are bothering them. You
Mhm.
gotta reach out to people and you gotta, just release that energy. Sometimes it's negative, right? So we got to
Right.
release it. And it's talking to people like yourself and like the network I have tried to build in voiceover and the people that I look up to. I mean, it's great to
Yeah.
be able to talk to them and not give an F anymore.
Yes. Yes.
I stopped giving them. I stopped.
Yeah.
My father-in-law always told me, when we were fighting fires, and he was my father-in-law was my captain. He was my
Oh,
captain. And,
really?
it's a weird story, but I'm not gonna get into all the how we met, how me and my wife met and everything, but my father-in-law, I looked up to him, and I
Mhm.
still do, and he just taught me so many valuable things, and one of the things that he taught me is say, "Sometimes you just gotta say F it.
Yes.
You
Yes.
gotta say F it."
Yes.
Some things are out of our control.
Yes. It's true. It's true. I mean, it's true. You listen to this thing my dad always said to me, "One day at a time, kid, one day at a
Oh,
time,"
that is so true. That is so
That
true.
it's just and we laugh, my family, we laugh through the craziest things because 'cause we're like, "What do we do? Nothing. There's nothing you can do about it." Like, just laugh. It's crazy.
Right,
I mean,
right.
this is really ridiculous. We're still here, right? So that's what matters.
We're still here
Oh
making
my
waves,
gosh.
right?
I'm telling you. But before we get into your, like, voiceover no, actually other stuff, tell me about you. Tell me who you are, where you live, before the world of voiceover, radio, and all that. Like, who's Brad?
I was always the class clown.
Ah.
I always liked to be the center of attention, growing
Oh.
up. My brother was 6 years older than me, so we didn't spend a lot of time growing up besides him beating me up and,
Oh.
torturing me. But you know what was really cool this past weekend when I went to stay with him? He said he was sorry. He told me, he's like, "Brad, I'm
Wow.
sorry. I'm sorry that I put you through that it was many
Oh.
years ago." And so those wounds, those are
Oh.
hit I didn't even realize I still had them. I was like, "Oh boy, yeah, man. Wow, that had an impact on me." But
Oh my
I'm a caring
gosh.
guy. I care about my friends.
I
I
can
really
tell. I can
do.
tell that about
I
you. I
care
mean
about my friends. I want to
mhm,
help my friends. And
mhm.
I want to see people succeed. I was hazed really badly. I mean, I guess as far as in the early 2000s is concerned, through the
Uh,
fire department. And when I was a rookie, I had a hard time. It wasn't easy for me. I was
oh, no.
not the outdoorsy type. I liked adventure, but I was more of a technical guy. And this
Right.
job was more hands-on. And I messed up a lot.
That's
And,
a tough
but
job.
the thing is, I just kept going. But I
Mhm,
had to go through the hazing process and I battled through all of that. I wanted to quit like 100 times, but I didn't.
mhm.
I battled through it. And then I earned everybody's respect
Right.
for a long period of time. But I just care about people. I don't like to see other rookies. That's why I helped the rookies in the fire
Mhm.
department when I saw them come in. I didn't want that to happen to them. And I want people to achieve their goals. I
Right.
want people to achieve their goals.
Yeah.
And if I'm along on the ride with them, that's great. And if they're on the ride with me, I don't forget about my friends. I don't forget about people that helped me out. And I might have been
Yeah.
cocky when I was young, and I might have thought because I was the best looking ring announcer commentator on the face of the earth today, because I was.
I
But
think we're all cocky younger. Yeah, we're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Yeah, I got it." And then you realize, "No, I don't."
yeah. I look at my younger self and I'm like, hey, man, that was great times we had, but you're a jerk. You're an idiot.
But,
But
you learn see, here's the thing, we learn from our jerkness, okay?
yeah, we do.
I learned. Some people never learned, okay? They just, like, continue to be jerks, like,
Right.
so it's
Right.
good that we learned. I mean, I
Oh,
was
that is the key to
ah,
life. I think as far as evolving, you have to recognize where your faults are and admit
mhm,
to them and try to work on them.
yes.
You got to try to work on them unless you're happy with being a jerk or happy being lazy
Right.
or happy being non-productive or happy whatever you're doing. That's cool. That's cool. But others
Yeah,
like more. Like me, I want more out of my life.
yeah,
I want to, I just want I'm
mhm,
addicted to building my business. I'm addicted to helping my friends out. and I'm
That's
addicted
great.
to learning how to become a better actor. I mean, that's what it's all about for me,
Yeah.
and fine tuning my business practices. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. There's a lot of things I got to do. I juggle 3 jobs.
Right,
It's not
right.
like I just do voiceover. I do other jobs as well. One
Mhm.
reason to mainly just to get out of the house. I have to get out of the house sometimes. I don't like
Right.
being home alone
Mhm.
in the office all the time. So my other
Right.
2 jobs get me out of the house.
That's good.
Um,
That's cool.
but you just there's challenges with that. We talked about it earlier about having to work, you're working 10-hour days and you have to come home and then you have to do more work and then your daughter's downstairs and you're missing time with her.
Yes.
And you just got to have a balance. You got to figure that out and that takes
Mhm.
time. So don't stress about it.
True, and nothing is perfect. So the whole
No.
the whole key is, like, if you think you're gonna perfect it, right? You think, like, everything is gonna line up. It's not like balance, it's harmony, right?
Right.
Trying to work things
Right.
together, and
Right.
it's some days are gonna be, "Oh, I'm
Rough.
spending too much time on the job, but this is what I have to do today," and I'm sure I could
It's
tell you're
all
a
in
good dad.
cycles.
So you're
Yeah.
like, you're not ignoring your daughter. You're
Mm-mm.
just it's a moment, and
No.
we have to do things. We have to work. We have to do what we gotta do. But I love the creative side because, like I said too, I work as well. I work a full-time job. I do voiceover and I podcast. I love this creative side. And like I said to you
Mm-hmm.
before, by the nighttime, though, I'm like, "I'm so tired. I
Yeah.
need more energy."
Oh,
But
the
while we're
bed.
doing it, it's so great. It's so energizing. Like, talking to you right now is so
Right.
energizing. It makes up for it. And it's so nice to connect with people, especially, sometimes after the pandemic, we were all like, we're not talking to anybody. So it's nice. It's a nice release.
The pandemic for
Hmm.
me was was both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
I'd never understood people talking on Zoom or interacting on Xbox
Yes.
Live or PlayStation Plus and talking with, I'm like, what is that?
Right.
What is that? And I didn't ever ask for help back then, too. So,
Yeah.
with what the pandemic did was opened me up to a whole new world
Yeah.
and meeting tons of different people that were not just next door neighbors. They're from
Mhm.
all over. And one of my closest buddies, Big Jim, Christopher, Big Jim Lamance. If
Nice.
I didn't meet this guy, I would have never figured, well, I probably would have, but it would have been taking a longer time to figure out how to even record quality audio. I mean, we
Oh,
would
wow.
spend hours hanging out on Zoom, just
Mhm.
working on things, Riverside too. And then, we did the podcast as well, a VO's Padded Room podcast. It was great. We had fun,
That's cool.
but,
I like the name of
life
that.
gets in the way. Life gets in the way and
Yes.
things
Yeah.
stop,
Yeah. Yeah, but
you
then
know,
things change, and there's
things
there's time.
change.
It's timing, it's timing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and you can't beat yourself up, and I heard, I was listening to somebody talking the other day, and it's like, don't dwell on the bad things or the
You
things that you
can't.
didn't do right. Look
Right.
forward, and, happiness, it's an inside job. Don't look for other people to make you happy. Yes, connect with other people and do that,
Mhm.
but
Right.
you need to be happy, on your own as well, like, just inside, and it's
Yeah.
it's a lot happening nowadays,
Oh,
especially
there's a
with
lot of outside
oh my
noise.
gosh, so much noise, and I have other questions I'm gonna jump back to, but
Sure.
I
Yeah.
don't wanna stop here for a minute. I wanna say, because you said when we were talking about tunnel vision, and that
Oh,
was
yeah.
can you just talk about that for a second?
Yeah, well, in the fire department or in the fire business, we were taught to never have tunnel vision. I mean, you got a lot of people's lives on the line. When you get to the call, you got to get water to the hose, and you got to get those firefighters opening up their nozzles and attacking the fire. If you're not
Yeah,
getting that water and hooking up to the hydrant, there's a lot of things that go on that if you're just going, okay, well, I got to turn this knob and that's all I'm going to focus on. Well, that might not work. What are you going to do? In this
right.
business, though, in the business of being a creative, not just a voiceover artist.
Mhm,
I consider myself a creative, a
mhm,
content creator, and
mhm,
you have to have tunnel vision. Yes, you can look at examples of other people doing what you love to do, but don't let it take over your life where it makes you depressed because maybe you don't think that you're as good as this person over here. You
mhm,
need that tunnel vision. You need to hone in to perfecting your business strategies. You
right.
need to clock time. How long does it take me to do this? How long does it take me to do this? I just realized this week that, I'm scheduling my days. I schedule my day from sun up to sundown. That includes exercises, hanging out with my kid, doing whatever I have to do. but
Mhm.
I'm realizing sometimes I'm biting off more than I can chew.
Right.
So
Right.
so I've kind of slimmed things down. Maybe I spend 4 hours on this.
Mhm.
Jobs are priority 1 for me, and when I get my jobs in, that's top seed. I take that. I
Right.
like to get my work done and out and get
Mhm.
those good reviews and get paid and be happy. That's
Yep.
just me. I don't like to sit on jobs. So I
Mm-mm.
did get those things knocked out. My workouts have to happen. I have to do it 4 to 5 times a week. And that's,
Mhm.
and that's Corey Disson. When we interviewed him on our podcast, he
Yeah.
opened my mind to a lot of this accountability stuff. And,
Right.
that's what I gotta do. You
Yeah.
just gotta have the vision and the focus and figure things out. And you can do it on your own time without watching videos of everybody else. Because you know
Right.
what? Everybody posts videos about their best moments all the time. You know,
Right.
it takes real courage to post your emotional times when
Mm.
things are tough, to
Yeah.
get those things out that maybe you don't really want to talk about, but you need to.
Mhm.
Even in acting. I was reading
Right.
a script the other day in front of a class, and we were just doing script reads, and it was about a little boy, and it was about a baby boy, and I didn't know. By the way, my wife's pregnant, and I'm going to be a father again.
Yay! I was wondering if you were gonna say
Yeah, yeah,
that.
but
I'm so
I
excited.
didn't know at the time what it was going to be, a girl or a boy, right? So
Right.
I picked this script, and it was over at um, um, the VO Academy, and so I was reading the script, man. I had a breakdown.
Oh,
I just
wow.
started tearing up because this was not like, this wasn't planned. It wasn't
Yeah.
planned. I don't mind it, but I was really worried. You
Mm.
talk about not looking too far into the future or too far into the past. Well, I guess I was looking too far into the future and needed
Yeah.
to like hone in. But this was good for me because I did. I tapped into my emotion. I tapped
Mhm.
into my emotion. There's a video on YouTube under Brad Storm account I have, and it's about my buddy Ronnie, my best friend Ron, who passed away from dementia. And
Oh.
I recorded something for his funeral, and I recorded myself recording it in here. And
Oh,
that was
wow.
emotion. I wanted to tap into emotion because
Yeah.
emotions are hard. They've been
Mhm.
really hard for me to tap into. Well, I just broke down and I said, hey guys, I mean, I was not like this, but I just said, hey, just give me a moment. And I
Right.
regrouped and I did it. And they're like, oh, Brad. I said, man, you guys are like my therapy. You are my
Yeah.
therapy. And I said, I'm so grateful for you because
Mm.
I need to get these things out off my chest.
Mhm.
Um, I know I deal with a lot of people, and everybody has things they're tackling. You're not the only one, and that's
Right.
how. And that doesn't give you. It's not an excuse to be okay,
Mhm.
but you got to. You can get through this because everybody else is tackling different things. Whether they lost a home, or they're separated from their wife, or they. Hey, you never know what's going to happen,
Mhm.
and yeah,
So true.
I just had to let it go, and it felt good, and,
Yeah.
I've been good ever since.
Good. That's so great. That's so great. Because, like you said, we bottle it all up and we get it and it gets worse and worse. If you don't let it out, it just gets worse. It festers and it gets bigger and bigger, you know?
Right.
And when you say it, sometimes it's not as bad. You're like, all right, that's not so bad. It's not so bad, you know?
Yeah. Well, I
Mhm.
think this year too, I've realized that once again, I don't give an F who's in the
Yeah.
class with me.
Right.
I'm doing
Right.
me. I'm doing me.
Yep.
I'm gonna perform, and I'm gonna let go, and I don't care
Mhm.
what anybody says. I don't care if anybody has a negative or positive, opinion. I'm just doing me because I wanna get better, and I wanna get the next job. It's all
Yep.
about the next job for me. I want to get that next job and go on that adventure, get paid and move on to the
Mhm.
next thing. The money is not the end all break all for me.
Right.
I like to find out, hey, I'm getting good feedback on my work. Is this good work?
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. This person's saying this is fantastic. Oh, great customer service. Oh, he likes to talk. He's very positive.
Yes.
And so
That's a big deal.
being
That's a big
positive is a
deal.
challenge.
It
Being positive is a challenge.
Yes.
And then if you're a negative person, I used to complain all the time. My mom used to say, "You complain all the time. What is your problem?" I woke up like what 8 years ago. I woke up and I said, "Yes, I
Wow.
do," because I was around people, and I'm not saying everybody in the fire department is negative, but the people that
Mhm.
I was hanging out with at the end, they were negative. I want to quit. This sucks. I don't want to do this. I don't get time off. Blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
And that's all I heard. And
Oh
so,
my
yes,
goodness.
I was negative. So I changed it. And Domingo Castillo, another fantastic mentor of mine,
Mhm.
he made me realize that I need him and Anthony Pica. They both said, "Don't be
Uh,
so hard on yourself." And
yeah.
then they just said, you know, look at the bright side. Don't ever apologize when you're reading a script and you mess
Mhm.
up. Don't go, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
Right.
sorry." Oh,
Yes.
don't do
Yes.
that. Don't do that. This is practice. Just keep
Right.
going. Keep
Just
going.
take a pause, right?
Yeah,
Take a
man.
pause and
Everybody
just
messes up.
do it again. I know if you think nobody messes up, forget it, because
Yeah,
that's not true. But I wanna ask you, I'm gonna go back just a tad. I wanna know
sure.
now, firefighter, was that first? That was before you did was that before you did anything in the voiceover world, the
Yeah,
creative world? You
that
were a
was before.
firefighter.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was driving back and forth to work, and I'd get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, drive to work, and
Mhm.
on the radio, I'd listen to a lot of sports talk. I don't know what channel it was at the time, but they were like, "Hey, do you want to be a broadcaster? Do you want to be on news? Do you want to be behind the mic on the radio?" Well, Connecticut School of Broadcasting is where it's at.
I
So
love it.
and
I
I was
love
just
it.
like, "Oh man, I want to get back into it." I
Yeah.
want to find out if I can still do some things that I like doing. It was fun.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I signed up and lo and behold, the Connecticut School of Broadcasting it was all around the East Coast. I mean, I didn't have to
Yeah.
drive to Connecticut to go there. I mean,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it was in Georgia. They were in Georgia.
I
So, I
love
mean,
it.
yeah, so
I
I did
love
it.
that.
Good choice
Now
for me.
you had said that though it's something you got from being a firefighter that helped you with communication and things like that? That's
Oh,
like what you
yeah,
were saying with the
I taught kids, fire safety.
Mhm.
They didn't I wanted to be the public information officer, but for some reason, I was
Ah,
never, like, even offered to, interview for it. So, whatever, that's besides the point. But they would always go to me to, teach fire safety to all the kids and everything. I was
right.
always the speaker when everybody I had to show the station, I had to present the station. So
Ah,
I'd be the speaker. I was speaker for everything, just about.
wow. Yeah.
So it did. It taught me, not, I don't know, it fine tuned my public speaking skills because I already had been a ring announcer. I've been doing that. Been doing that for I started in 2002. So I had been doing it for like 5 or 6 years already.
You had been
So
doing that you were
firefighting,
doing what
fire,
oh, okay.
I had been
With
doing
the ring
firefighting since 2002, and so
okay.
I was a ring announcer starting in 1998 or something like that.
Oh, wow,
So, yeah, it was
okay.
about what, 4 years, I guess? So,
Oh,
4 or
wow.
5 years, I can't do math. So,
That don't
it
look at
was
me.
great. Yeah, forget it, that's why I'm doing this. But, the basic math, but yeah, I already had been public speaking, and I did plays in high school. I
Yeah.
loved to sing, so I sang in
Oh,
choirs and stuff. So, I
yeah.
wasn't afraid of, people, and then, and when I went to University of Georgia, I was a cheerleader. So, I
Mhm.
would be in, the stadium with what, 60,000 people?
Yeah,
So, I
yeah.
mean, it was no big deal.
Wow.
It was
Oh
no
my
big
god,
deal.
that's so cool. That's so cool. So you did the whole wrestling thing and then and then you got into it was 2011, right, that you transitioned to
Yep,
voiceover? Is
2011.
that true?
Yeah,
Okay.
2011.
So
Wow.
wow, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
then so with the radio, the Mayhem Radio,
Oh,
MMA,
the
that
award-winning
came
MMA Mayhem Radio podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, me and a bunch of, actually, I was at the school, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and I heard these guys, they were having a wrestling show, behind the glass in the, control room, right? So I was just like I came in there, I said, "Hey," yeah, I said, "I don't know if you guys realize this, but I used to intern at WCW, and I used to have my own wrestling show on the radio in Athens." And, they were like, "No way, man, that's cool." And, but I like being a part of wrestling. I don't like watching it anymore,
Okay.
really. I like to be a
Okay.
part of the show.
Right, right, right.
They had a WWA4, it was a wrestling school, and it was right in the heart of Atlanta. It was right next to
Oh.
it was adjacent to Six Flags, really.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I would go there and fine tune my skills. But I told these guys, I'd be like, "Yeah, I did wrestling, and um, I don't know how it morphed into MMA. I can't
Mhm.
remember, but it did because MMA was the hottest thing going, and there was
Wow.
lots of fights around the Southeast, and there was and fighters wanted to be interviewed, and even the people in the UFC at that time, they wanted to be interviewed. We interviewed a lot of heavy hitters, no pun
Wow.
intended, And,
Yes.
but, you wanna talk about dedication.
Oh,
I would
man.
sometimes work a 48-hour shift. I'd get off my shift, a 48-hour shift. I'd get off my
Wow.
shift, I'd pack the guys up, we'd drive all the way to Myrtle Beach, which is like it's like 6.5 hour drive.
Oh my
We do
goodness.
a 5 to 6 hour show. We interviewed all the fighters. So after they would fight, we would
Yeah.
interview them. And,
Ah.
my slogan was like, Ann Lucente, she had a great knockout, and you better watch out because the next time she's going to punch you right in the face. And
Love it.
I'd close things out like that. And people never
I love
seen,
it.
no, they were like, man, this guy's crazy.
That is so great.
Yeah.
I
And so,
love it.
and I had a lot of energy. I still do,
Yeah.
but I had a lot of energy and people paid attention. And then,
Mm.
in my co-interview compadre, George Kennebrew, he was really good at it too. He was more
Right.
laid back though. Hey, this is George Kennebrew, and hey, I got Ann Lucente here, and she just knocked out the champ. So it
Right.
was kind of like a good mix, and
Yeah, yeah.
we started getting attention. I
Oh
would
my
go to
gosh.
shows. I went to a show, I think it was in it was either in Kentucky or Tennessee, right? And so we don't know anybody. And
Mhm.
I started walking up to people after their fights and I'm like, hey, we got a microphone. Hey, we got a camera. My buddy Reese Hamilton, Greasy. That was him. He was the grease man. And so we would go on the road and we'd go to these shows and then we just interview these guys and girls. And it was a really intense
Wow.
experience
That
because I
is.
I had to study, like, I didn't know every fighter in the Southeast,
Right.
so
Right.
I had to figure it out. I was always about being prepared, and
Wow.
with
That's
Facebook
important.
at the
Mhm.
time or whatever,
Right.
MySpace or whatever was around,
Oh,
you
yeah,
could go
yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
could reach out to the fighter and go, "Hey, man, what's your age? Where do you live? I mean, what are all these
Yeah.
things?" Because that was good for ring announcing too. Because I could go, "Hey, what's your height? What's your weight? Where you from?
Yeah.
What do you call yourself?" And so I have all this prepared. So when I was doing ring announcing, I was always prepared. And so when I
Yeah.
was interviewing fighters, I was always
Wow.
prepared. The one thing though that I wasn't doing very well at the time was just I was so nervous a lot of times because I didn't know these guys, right? And because this
Mhm.
was new ground and because they're
Right.
fighters, I didn't want them beating me up. Yeah. That I didn't take the time to pause and just
Okay.
listen to what they had to say. I was always
Yes.
thinking about oh, what am I going to do?
Yes.
What am I going to say next? What's the next question?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
pauses are so important
Oh my god, and I'm with you, they're so hard to do
in
sometimes.
life.
Yes, and you know what podcasting does for me is makes me I wanna hear your story, and instead of
Right.
going like, "What's happening?" Like, we'll get the question, I'll get to ask you stuff, but it was so hard for me at first because I was
Mhm.
especially when you're doing the tech, you're doing this, you're doing that, right? You're
Yeah.
doing everything else that you're looking at everything. Is everything recording? That you make yourself pay attention, and it's
Yeah.
so wonderful because I can enjoy this conversation, I can enjoy what you're saying,
And
and it's so
sometimes
you
you
know,
just got to say F it.
F it.
Right? You just got to say F it.
Yes. You say F
You
it. Li
know?
Nothing's perfect. Actually, when it's not perfect, it's even better, I have to tell you, right?
Right.
You post
Right.
something that's not perfect, people are like, "That's pretty funny. That's pretty
Yeah. Once you
good."
start letting go and not caring about whatever, all the
Yes.
comments or whatever people have in
It's
their head, not
true.
everybody's going to like you. Not
Mhm.
everybody's going to always say kind things to you. You just got to have, you got to build that armor. You got to build the armor and just got to let,
Exactly.
that happens over time. It
It
happens
does.
over time and
It
not
does.
reading comments sometimes. So,
Definitely not reading comments because I
yeah.
think that people comment sometimes just for the sake of commenting,
Commenting.
just for
Yeah.
the
There
sake
could
of
be
being
trolls.
mean. I'm like, why are you so mean? Like, I don't even know these people half the time. I'll read stuff, I'll be like, "What are they saying?" Like, I don't understand
Right,
it, but
right.
yeah, I
And
don't get it.
you might have like 50 people that say, "You're number one. You're the best.
Right.
I love your show." But then you have one
Right.
person who goes, "Oh man, this show sucks. The sound
Right.
quality blows. I don't
Right.
know what." And
"What are you talking
that used
about?
to
Stop
eat me
talking."
up.
Yeah,
But I'm like,
yeah.
"No, no, because
Mm-mm.
I am going to stay positive through
Right.
adversity." And I have
Yes.
many people that think I do a good job. So this one
Exactly.
person is not going to affect me.
Exactly, exactly, and I love it, staying positive through adversity. It's so, so important.
It's hard. It's not
It's
easy.
No, it's not. We're saying it like it's easy, but it's not. It takes
It's
work.
not.
It takes work. It takes a lot of
It's
work, and
taken me a
some
long
things.
time.
Well, some things do bother you.
Lifetime.
Like, there are things that bother you. Like, somebody can be mean. You'd be like, "Oh my gosh," like, it doesn't mean, like, you gotta try to let it roll off, but sometimes you take it in for a minute and you're like, "Nope, not keeping it. Not keeping it. Whatever."
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
I'll tell you a story. I'm not gonna name the name of the person, but I was, screenshot it. Well, how do you, somebody took a screenshot of me and this other person, and they were bashing the other person, but they posted it all on social media
Oh,
because
no.
I got interviewed on their show.
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Oh, shit."
Oh,
I
no.
said, "Oh, shit."
Oh,
And I
jeez.
was, and this was like probably about 3 years ago, maybe 3, 4 years ago. And I was not in a good place.
No.
I was
No.
not in a good place.
I don't
And I
blame you.
always thought, getting exposure was the most important thing. I need to get
Mhm.
exposure. I need to do this. I need to do that. I
Right.
sat on this for days. I
Oh,
was not in a good place. I had
yeah.
to figure this all out and compartmentalize it, whatever that word, that's a big word, right?
That's the word.
Yeah,
That's the word.
I had to just,
Oh
this
my
wasn't
gosh.
about me.
Right.
I just had to, it just so happens that out of all the interviews this person did, they had to take a picture with me in it. So,
Oh my
and
gosh.
yeah, that stuck with me. And then, Corey helped me get through that one too, because I did explain that to him in Clubhouse. I
Oh, did
did.
you? Yeah.
I talked to him
Yeah.
about that. He said, "I got your
Wow.
back. I got your back." And
Wow.
I know people have my back. But hey, you know what?
Mhm.
The old saying goes, everything happens for a reason. It just made me
Yes.
tougher.
That's
And
true.
that made me realize
Yep.
I have to do my homework on people too. Don't go on
Yes.
just any show. Do your
Exactly.
homework and
Yes.
make sure that you're going to be on something that's going to be in a positive light, you know?
Exactly, and I agree. I agree with you with that because I used to also be like, "Okay, what?" Whatever, and then you start to think it through, and you're like, "Okay, let me see. Does it line up with my beliefs or my whatever?"
Right, right.
Even having guests on here, I'm like, "Okay, let me see." Like, not that you have to be like me. I want people that are not like me. I just want to know,
Right.
like, who are you, and what. And I always like watching people's other podcasts they've been on just to see. Also, it gets me to know them
Yeah.
better
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
gets me
yeah.
to see them in different. And if I be like, "Oh, that's so fun. Let me look that up more," or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could hear something maybe and you're like, "Oh, no, don't like that."
Yeah.
And
We don't
but,
want somebody
that's what
that
ha
cusses all the time, right?
that's
Yeah.
right. Once in a while, it's fine, but
Yeah.
not all the
Yeah.
time. Oh my god. So I wanna ask you, so share the story, like, the creation of Brad Storm VO, because I was looking up some of the things, like, you say, "Wait a minute, let me read it." So how did you get the idea that comes about that inspired you to say, "Bring" what does it say? "You bring the thunder to the
Oh, you can't
voiceover
have the
world?"
thunder without the storm. When it
Oh.
rains, it pours. Everybody says, "Yeah, you don't have to have these cheesy slogans or whatever." Dude,
I
I've been
love
saying these things since like
them.
1999.
Oh my god, I
Well,
love
actually, it's actually
them.
2000. Brad Storm was created in 2000.
Okay.
I was bad Brad in 98 and 99. I was just trying to figure it all out. I was
Yeah.
bad Brad, the best looking ring announcer commentator on the face of the earth today.
That's
And,
great.
and I'm just like, man, bad Brad. I mean, that's kind of sucky. I said, but I loved Marvel and I loved
Right.
Storm. I loved her. She was great.
Yeah.
And I was like, Brad Storm. Oh, wow. I like the rain
I
and
love
I
it.
love rainy days. And,
Yes, yes.
and I started like getting these one-liners. And that's all. I'm great with
I love it.
one-liners. I love helping people with their brands and creating some slogans, because
Yeah.
now my slogan, people might say it's violent, but I have a lot of people that follow me and they thrive off what I have to say. And I'll tell them later about that one. But, it's like that is what I'm talking about. But, with the Brad Storm VO,
Yeah.
I left the fire department. I was mentally drained.
Mm.
I have PTSD. I was sick of going 100 miles an hour into the worst situations.
Oh, jeez.
We all have a shelf life in the business, and I'm
Mhm.
not ashamed to say mine was up. Mine was up,
Mhm.
and that meant me leaving a cushy job, even though it was dangerous.
Right.
It was a job that I had, and I was getting paid pretty
Mhm.
good, And I left because my wife said we need to get out of Georgia. We need to get out of Georgia. It's okay. It's okay for you to do this. And this is
Right.
coming from, my wife. Her dad's been a firefighter all the time that she's been growing up. You
Right.
know? And
Yeah.
and I love those guys. I went through a lot of stuff with my compadres in the fire business, but
Mhm.
I was just sick and tired of just seeing the worst. And
Yeah.
then going into the worst situation. I remember the last fire I had, it was like 3 in the morning. I could see the fire billowing from the sky like it was hell
Oh,
right when we
jeez.
left the fire station.
Oh
And
my
that's
god.
like the fire where we had no water. The water wasn't getting to the
Oh.
into the pump, and the guys weren't able to, go into the building, and it took us a long time to figure it out. I wasn't afraid though. When I didn't know something, I would go to one of my buddies that were, they knew their stuff, and I would go, "Hey,
Mhm.
bud, hey, Cap, or hey, can you help me out?" And they would help me out. We figured it out.
Mhm.
But that's stress. I mean, I held a
Wow.
kid after he got hit by a car. I held him in my hands,
Oh, jeez.
and he didn't make it.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen a lot of things. I was done because
Yeah.
I think because I when my daughter was born, I delivered her. I delivered her.
Oh.
I was the first person she saw. You know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
just changed my whole outlook on things.
Mhm.
And we decided to move, and we did. 2016. My
Wow.
mom and dad live over in Hilton Head Island. And,
Okay.
they're not getting any younger, not like
Mhm.
most of us, right? And so
Right.
I was like, man, my brother's an actor in Atlanta, very talented
Oh,
actor, Bob
okay.
Lanew, Storm.
Okay. Does he use the storm?
No,
No.
Bob Lanew. Go look up Bob Lanew on IMDb. He's got a nice resume.
Oh,
Um,
cool. I'll check him out.
but I knew he wasn't going to Hilton Head. I knew he wasn't going to South
Mhm.
Carolina. And so I was like, okay, my wife wanted to just break away from the family. She loves her family and everything. They're fantastic, but she wanted to be on her own a little bit. And so we
Mhm.
decided to move when we did the move. And when I built this house, I had this closet made specifically for my voiceover business. That's what I
Oh,
wanted to do.
yeah.
And if you go
Great.
through my YouTube channel, you'll see how it's grown throughout time. I had no
Oh,
padding on the walls. I had a MXL 990 on a stand, with a script stand next to me, and
yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
what
I was in
the
a closet.
hell.
I was in a
Yeah.
total closet. I kept putting things in there until I finally was like, "I can't fit anything in there
Well, this
anymore."
is this is perfect for me. I don't,
That's
it's right
great.
in my office. I'm
Mhm.
upstairs in the bonus room, and I do all my recording in here. I do my live directed sessions, do all my classes,
Nice.
and then I'll go to my desk and do all the other magic. You know,
I love
but
it. I love it. It's amazing to see the transformation, but
yeah,
but that's like the passion. You do anything, right? I mean, I literally was I'm talking about a closet, and then I would make shifting stuff. I'd have to plug things in when I was doing it. It was so stressful at
yeah.
first because I'm like, I have
Oh,
to hook it up. I couldn't
but you
leave
got
it
to
hooked up
do
where
it.
it was. You just do it.
You got to
You
do it because
just
you
do
get
it.
frustrated with your crappy sound. You're like, hey,
Yes.
I need to get better sound. And I'm
Right.
still trying to get better sound. I'm always
Mhm.
trying to figure out better sound.
Me too. I'm always doing
My
that.
my friend and mentor Ken Marsiglia,
Mhm.
very talented and giving human.
Mhm.
He's been advancing my skills in audio engineering a lot, and
Oh,
so
great.
we've been fine tuning things. And people will help you. You got to
Mhm.
realize people will help.
Yeah.
Not
They
everybody's
do.
about the dollar bill.
No, it's
And
true.
yeah, yeah, granted, when people help you, it might be nice to give them something in return. Or I do a
Mhm.
lot of bartering. You
Right.
know, so
Yeah.
like,
No, it's true though, because people they will. There are so many people. This industry is really great.
right,
Podcasting, voiceover industry, that the whole it's amazing the community, the amount of people. I wouldn't know anything that I know now without
right,
people helping me and giving their advice for
right,
just to give it, you know.
right.
And you have to do little by little too. So we're not all made of money. We don't have a bunch of money sitting around. So you have to
No,
pick and choose. You got to be
it,
like, okay, what do I need next kind of thing. Like I needed to
right.
learn how to edit. That was my first big chunk of stuff. Then I needed to do this. I, of course, needed a decent mic, not even, the top of the line, just
Step
a
by
decent mic.
step.
Step by step, one day at a time, kid, like my dad said.
Yeah, and I used to like. I know, and great. I wanna train with the best of the best.
Mhm.
I'm not there yet, and I can
Yeah,
admit
you
that.
got to do one thing, like you said, got to do one thing at a time.
Yeah,
You got,
you
and
you got
you
to do one
can't.
thing at a time.
you know when that is, and you know
Yeah,
what that is. Like, you'll know, okay, wait, I can do this class, or I can do this coaching session with this
right,
person now. You
right.
you just
And
got to do
granted,
that.
I believe I can do any coaching session. I
Mhm.
think I'm coachable. I mean, I've proven that time and time
Mhm.
again. It just depends on where you want to go. I don't care if I'm
Yes.
on Nickelodeon. I don't care if I'm on, WWE. I don't care. I'm just like I want to get consistent work. I want to take care of my clients so they come
Yeah.
back, and we have a building relationship. So they refer me to other people that I can do quick jobs that are fine tuned, sounds great, and that makes me happy. I don't care about the other.
Mhm.
If the other stuff falls into place, so be it. But don't
It's
feel
true.
pressured. I mean, a lot of new people too, they'll feel pressured sometimes like, well, if I don't spend this money, then I don't want it bad enough. Not really.
Mhm.
It's not
Right.
really.
Right.
There's a lot of money I haven't spent on with people and I know I want it bad enough because I sit
Mhm.
and I wake up every day doing this shit all day.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
It's
even when
true.
I'm at my other jobs, I'm communicating with people.
Mhm.
This is something I
No,
live,
it's
breathe,
true.
and sleep.
It's true, and I agree. I think you have to know what you have to spend on what you're spending,
I
and
got
do that and take one
responsibilities
step
too,
at a time.
yeah.
There's a lot. There's other bills to pay too, but
Well,
you can pick
I
and
got another
choose.
kid on the way.
Right, I know.
I had to quit. I quit my bowling league. I said, "Hey, man,
Yeah.
it's been real. I've been doing it since 2017." But I was just like, "Hey, it's been real, but it's
Yeah.
time for me to splits." And
Yeah.
also, I have class on Wednesday nights that I like to go to. I'm either going
Mhm.
to the VO Academy script reads or I'm going to a VO's Journey marketing classes. So I'm either
Nice.
going one or the other on Wednesday nights. So,
Right.
and that makes me accountable and that gives
Mhm.
me discipline, like Corey always
Mhm.
taught. And it's repeating
Right.
positive actions to get me to where I need to go, which is
Right. It's
finding more
true.
work.
No, it's true. Now tell me about your, because you do content creating. Tell me about that part of you, like, that you do. Like, you do different
Well,
things. And I know you also help a lot of people do it. You do it not only for yourself, but you create for other people as well,
yeah,
right?
I mean, with videos, it was more of a passion for me just to create. I was just interested in creating videos.
Mhm.
Once I found out how to rip videos from YouTube, I found a whole new world, man. I ripped a Sectar's toy commercial back from the
Uh-huh.
probably late 80s, early 90s. And
Ah.
I stripped the commercial and I recreated it with all new sound effects, voiceover,
Oh.
music. I did everything. I posted on my YouTube channel and I also done video games where I stripped all the sound out and put my own sound because it was
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
And it
Oh
also
my
taught
gosh.
me, I was like, damn, these guys talk fast. I was just like, wow, I got to be on time. But content creating, you have to be the best promoter. You're your best
Mhm.
promoter, right? If you're not promoting yourself
Right.
and marketing, people that say they don't like marketing is because they just started. They just
Mm.
started in
Right.
voiceover. I know that's what I
Mhm.
said anyway, and I know
Right.
that's what a lot of my friends said too. But
Right.
you got to be addicted to promoting yourself. You do have
Mhm.
to give yourself a pat on the back. In the wrestling world, Barry Horowitz did that. I don't know if anybody knows him, but hey, that's a nice
Mm.
name drop, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but you have to be like when I was in ring announcing in the 90s and early 2000s, we didn't have phones. We didn't have phones that could record
Right.
video.
Right.
There's a lot of moments I wish that I still had. Now, granted, I have some tape for television stuff that I did, and I've kept a lot of it. Keep all your stuff, by the way. Keep your audio, your
Mm.
video. But I wanted to promote myself, and I'm like, okay, how do I do this? One day we went to this place called Ollie's or something. I bought this book. It was called Beers from Around the World.
Huh?
And I'm like, "Oh, I love this book." And I said, "Hey, man, maybe I should do a show, like maybe create a video with me in the booth talking about it, and then go into using stock video footage and creating something with a voiceover." I did it.
Mhm.
I did it. Then
Wow.
I learned. I learned how to do that through trial and error. It's like, okay,
Wow.
my buddy, he told me on the first one, he's like, "Man, your sound quality is not good on this, Brad." But I was always about, "Here, I'm going to put it out no matter what." Um,
Right.
the quality wasn't that good, and, I
Yeah.
had to come to grips with that, and so I did shut that video down, but that was good. I got feedback. That's the key. If you are afraid to put your content out there, you'll never know if you're good or not.
It's
You'll never
true.
know, and so
It's
somebody told
true.
me that that was lousy, and I corrected it. It's a beautiful
Uh,
thing. It's
It
just
is. A
being
after you feel
humble.
like, "No, I don't wanna hear that," then you're like,
Oh,
all
it
right, because
yeah,
you
it
want
is
it to
like a
be
it's a
it is.
body
It
blow.
takes a minute. It takes a minute to really
That's
want first you're like,
pride.
"They don't know what they're talking about." And then you're like,
Right.
"Yes, they do."
Yeah,
Yes.
they do. They do.
Yes,
It's a lot
yes.
of little nuggets people have given me, and if you don't and people are giving you nuggets, you gotta listen,
Mhm.
especially
Yeah,
if they know what they're talking about. You gotta
right,
listen and then fix those things,
right.
and, like, with the content creating, scheduling posts, I did some, social media scheduling for VO Academy for a while. That did teach me how to be more efficient at it and
Mhm.
to have that tunnel vision because, hey, when I from 9 to 11, I gotta be scheduling. I gotta be
Right,
scheduling my content. Either I'm scheduling it,
right.
creating it, planning it out for the next week. I have to know what's going on.
Well,
And there's
share
gonna be
share about your scheduling because you have a system you use to schedule,
I have a
correct?
system and and it's still I'm still working on it. Like
Mhm.
I have things that are in my schedule for
Yeah,
Monday and Tuesday this week, but my side job I just got slammed. And so I wasn't
right,
able and I was out of town. And that's the
right.
thing, like, lately, because my grandmother passed away and I had to go out of
I'm
town for
sorry.
that. I was out of town for fantasy football. But
Oh.
I love fantasy football. I've been doing it
That's
with
great.
the same guys for, like, 22 years,
You're
so
allowed to have fun. You're allowed
yeah,
to
well,
have
yeah,
fun.
yeah, allowed to have fun. But those things do put a
Uh,
dent in your systems,
right,
I
right,
don't
and
usually
you
take my computer with me, I don't
no, right.
I wanna go somewhere, I wanna, like you said, relax because 'cause I'm not
Relax. You wanna
I
be
mean
unplug,
right.
unplug from and get away from
So yeah,
whatever.
Mondays is Monday memory. Yeah, no, memory Mondays, whatever it's called. But I go back in time. I pull a video from either YouTube or I create one. I have a lot of footage from when I started where I would record a lot of my
Mhm.
stuff. And there's stuff I haven't even posted that I have from like 2018,
Oh,
2017
wow.
and stuff that I
Yeah.
can go, okay, well, I'll put this together and this will be Monday memories, looking
Right.
back in time. And then like
Right.
Tuesday through Friday, I'm usually either scheduling like stuff I've done, like a job that I recently completed. I'll schedule
Mhm.
that. And I do. I don't know if everybody out there, if you love your friends, if you love your VO compadres, the best thing that you can do is share their content.
Yes.
Share their content.
Yes.
You can bookmark posts in Twitter. You can save posts in LinkedIn. You can
Mm.
save posts in Facebook. You can go
Mhm.
back to them and go, okay, I'm going to put this. My friend Evelyn. Oh yeah, I'm going to schedule her stuff for Wednesday and talk about how
Oh,
fantastic she is. Oh, I was on. Ann's got a podcast. Well, I'm going to schedule this for Friday and
right,
say, oh, I'm great. I'm happy for Ann and her success with her podcast.
right.
Help your friends out.
That's
You say you
true.
love
That's
them.
so
You say
true.
you care about them. That is
Right.
the best thing you can do.
That's
I know.
absolutely true.
I have
Yeah.
my number one supporter, and
Mhm.
like again, people will knock my slogan, which I'll share later, but they
Don't
knock it.
forget, now I need to hear
No, dude, I'll
it.
remember. I'll remember.
Okay, good.
But my number one supporter, you know what she does?
What?
She shares and comments on everything I
Wow.
do.
That's so great.
Everything. Because of that, not because of just the slogan, but
Mhm.
that gives her motivation. And
Mhm.
also, we met. I've helped her out. I've helped her get her voice out there.
Mhm.
And so she is
Nice.
forever grateful to me. And I
Right.
appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
always thanking her for
Yeah.
her support because she says, I will not stop until you keep succeeding.
That's so great.
And when you
That's
can
so great.
have 10 of those types of people, you can have 15, 20 of those types of people. And you're returning
Mhm.
the favor too. Just riding the wave. You're going to
Right.
return the favor, right?
Right.
That is worth more than money, gold. It's worth more than
Mhm.
anything because they are doubling your efforts.
Right.
Now you're
Right.
not the only one posting. Other people are posting.
Exactly.
I'm part of the
Exactly.
VO Academy and I'm part of VO's journey. I'm proud of both. They both do different things and they're both fantastic. And I will
Mhm.
always share their posts. I will always,
Yeah.
the Anthony's got he's got the big Zoom conference coming up in October,
Oh,
with
wow.
all these big heavy hitters.
Oh
I
my
was I
gosh.
was involved in that 2 years ago, and it was great. We Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you were on Zoom. It was pretty much the majority of the day on Saturday and the evening on Friday and Sunday, the early day. And
Mhm.
you're listening to all these different voiceover artists from all these different backgrounds.
Wow.
It's just a slam dunk. I'm gonna share
Mhm.
that he's got his, event coming up, you know?
Right.
The VO
Right.
Academy with Corey Rhymes. The next month's mentor is my buddy, Ken Marsiglia. I don't care
Mhm.
who it is, but I'm gonna share his stuff because I wanna see his business succeed because he did
Right.
something that a lot of us cannot do. He had the kahunas to build this thing.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
came from the idea of, hey, I'm still trying to learn, but I figured I would like maybe help my friends out and get some of these great voiceover talents to come sit with us and talk, and we all can learn together.
Mhm.
Granted, okay, he charges a fee. Both places are very affordable. And I just I admire that. I
Mhm.
admire that he was fearless because I have positive affirmations that I use on a daily basis. I've been doing this for the last 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Uh, and what was his Francois Lapien? I think that was his name. I sat with him. He was a motivational coach, and he would
Mhm.
talk about like, writing things down and seeing and visualizing things. I said, okay, well, I'm going to start doing this. And I
Right.
started writing. I take 10, I either have 10 words that are going to be uplifting or 10 things I see myself having, confidence, strength, positivity, you know, peace,
Mm.
fearless. That's one of my words.
Mhm.
Grateful, loved, healthy, wealthy.
Right.
These are words I use on a daily
Yes.
basis because there is no other option. There is no
Right.
other option for me. I'm going to continue to stay positive. I'm going to continue to help my friends. I'm going to continue to grow my business no matter what anybody says. And
Mhm.
ultimately, this is brushing off on my daughter. She sees
Yes.
how hard I work.
That's
She sees
that
how hard her
is
mom works. Mom works hard too.
that is really
And
that is really huge, and you don't even realize it until
no,
then all of a sudden it hits you and you're like, "Wow, I don't even realize."
I
'Cause
told
they'll
my daughter,
watch you, right?
yeah,
I forget what
yeah,
the saying totally is, but isn't there like a saying of something like, oh, I can't remember what it is, what you say, or something like how people don't hear what you say because
yeah.
your actions are what they see. There's a
Right.
quote, I can't
Actions
remember
are
it, but
louder than words. Actions speak
yeah,
louder than words. And they
yep,
do. And they do.
mhm,
Because everybody can talk. Anybody can talk.
mhm,
They all do.
right. Talk a good game
But
and
what
not
can you
do
do
anything.
when the stuff hits the fan? What are you gonna do?
Exactly,
You know?
exactly. So that brings me into I wanna ask you my signature question, and you kinda talked a lot about stuff, so you don't have to particularly answer, but if something pops into your head, I ask everybody this
Mm.
question saying, "Share a moment in your life or career," either, or both, of resilience or divine intervention or a time you had to pivot. And I know you answered a bunch of stuff, but is there something else that pops into your mind for that?
Well, in the voiceover world, there's been a couple, one that I probably won't forget. When I had one of my first live directed sessions.
Mhm.
And I had a part. They wanted, and I promote myself as lightning in a mic,
Yeah.
even though you can't see it, it's right there.
Oh, I like that, though. I
Um,
like Lady and Mike.
so I'm high energy. I do a
Oh, I
lot
can
of
see it.
I do a lot of reads that are high energy. Oh, I guess that's not the way. Whoops. Anyway, but I came into this read, and this one time I think I wasn't as prepared as I thought I should be. But I was like, oh, this is a new experience. We'll see what happens. And so I did it, and I thought I gave the energy,
Mhm.
and they explained to me that they wanted me to read it in a more normal tone. And I didn't really grasp what they were wanting, and I
Mm,
started getting nervous. And
yeah.
I also was on camera. If you're doing a directed session, you don't have to be on camera.
Mm,
Yeah, I learned that lesson too. You don't have to be on camera. You can just put your logo on there or have a smiling
okay.
face. Because there was a female in there, and
Mm.
she wasn't on camera, and I was just like,
Oh.
and I was like, oh no, and I started sweating bullets,
Oh,
and
jeez.
I wasn't, things weren't working out. Things weren't working out like they usually do. Like I take good direction.
Mhm.
So what ended up happening was they ended up replacing me with the girl, and I had
Oh,
like two sentences No, I had like 2 words, I think,
Right.
after that. And, that was a wake-up call. That was a wa and that was a growing that was a chance to grow
Right.
because it did hurt. It did
Mhm.
make me realize that, "Whoa, maybe I need to prepare more for something like this." It
Mhm.
also made me realize that, um, you just this is part of the journey. This is part of the journey.
Right.
This is part of the journey. I went to the beach. That's my happy place, right?
I love
Because
the
then,
beach.
Happy Gilmore, they always said, "Go to your happy place, happy." Um, and so I went to the beach, and I was just down in the dumps, man. I was just staring into the ocean and just like, "Man, am I gonna make it? Am I good enough to do this? I
Mhm.
mean, what is it gonna take?" I worked so hard at it, and, it took me probably about a week, but after that week, what I did come to the conclusion was that I wasted time.
Mm.
I wasted time. I should have been back the next day. Should have been back the next day. There's gonna be
Mhm.
hurdles, and the
Mhm.
hurdles hurt, but they
Yes.
make you better. They make
Right.
you better, and if you are fearless, you're gonna go through a lot
Mm.
of that, and you're gonna
Yeah.
get better and better and better and better and better. It's like I always wanted things fast, and that's why I
Mhm.
quit a lot of things when I was young.
Yeah.
I wish I would have realized the potential of if you stick with something for a long period of time, you level up. You
Yeah.
level up and you get better. It's like being in a role playing game. You just level up, you get better, and you keep going and you get, just because you make it to the wherever you want to go doesn't mean you want to go even higher.
Mhm.
The sky's the limit, like they say. But you got to be
Right.
able to trudge through the crap. Fiverr has taught me to trudge through the crap. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I,
Share a little bit about that because you have
yeah,
success on there, and I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's
I like
it's
Fiverr.
great.
I enjoy Fiverr. If I didn't have Fiverr, I would have never learned how to run a business.
Really?
I would have never learned how to communicate with people because a lot of people
Okay.
like to communicate through typing messages.
Mhm.
They don't like to talk to. I like to talk to people on the phone. I didn't know this
Yeah.
whole new world of freelancing and communicating through Messenger. And I mean, my skills weren't the way they are now. And so
Mhm.
maybe I was lacking a little bit of confidence. But what Fiverr did was help me slow down,
Mhm.
research, take my time, ask
Mhm.
questions
Mm.
instead of
Oh,
just,
yeah, that's a big one.
oh my God, somebody's giving me a job. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That's a
You
big
know?
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to
Yep.
slow down, man. Do your research and like
Yeah.
ask questions. Because if somebody
Yeah.
says, hey, man, just do it the way you want to do it,
Mm.
you know,
Right. What does that mean?
yeah, exactly.
Might
What
not
does
be the way
that
you want. It might not be
exactly?
what
What
you
does
want.
that mean? What do
Yeah.
you want? What kind of style do you want this
Mhm.
in? And if they continue to not answer me, I just leave them 3 takes and they're all different and you're like that usually works. But it did. It
Mhm.
taught me a lot of different things
Wow.
and I was able to earn some money doing what I
Mhm.
love doing. It also taught me how to create images. I didn't, I
Oh,
wasn't
yeah?
I mean, I worked with my dad as a graphic designer back in the day, but that was the old school stuff. I mean, this was a whole
Mhm.
new world, and I had to learn. And it was frustrating too. I'm still real nitpicky with my graphics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned how to make thumbnails and graphics. I learned how to
Right.
do. I mean, I've been like when I was hosting my show, Enter the Flex Zone. I would stand in this booth and do an intro to my show to tease for people that are going to watch it that upcoming week. And I
Mhm.
would, I'd have my camera clipped up here to the frame of the door, and
Yeah.
I would have my script taped to my phone, and I would read it over, and I'd mess up over and over and over. But it did, it taught me to be more comfortable. That's why I'm real comfortable right now. I mean, I
Mhm.
wasn't like this from the get go.
Right.
I mean, this is a lot of work.
It
It's a
does take
lot.
a lot of
I'm
work.
very comfortable behind a camera now.
Yeah.
And I got ADHD. I got PTSD. You can't crutch on them because once again, you're going to waste time. I tell people with anxiety and ADHD, you got to tackle your anxiety. I have
Right.
lots. I mean, I've had hundreds of anxiety attacks. I was in
Mhm.
the ER. They told me I was going to die.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
because of my heart,
Yeah.
and I have this irregular heartbeat, I mean, but I learned, and this is another thing, when I was talking to Corey about exercise,
Mhm.
and that repetition. I started exercising. I started doing things. I like to do crazy characters, and that helps me with my anxiety because I don't like anxiety, right? I
I
play my
love that.
guitar. I
I
suck
love
at
that.
playing guitar, but I
I
play it. I'm getting better every year, you
That's
know?
great.
And but I have no goal there. I'm not like, hey, I want to be like Jimi Hendrix. No, I just like to play
Right.
my guitar because it relieves my anxiety. I used to hold
Right.
my boy Blue. I used to
Oh.
hold my boy Blue, and
Oh.
he helped me with my anxiety too. And
Oh.
now
Yeah.
I give my daughter a hug,
Yes.
or I
Yes.
give my wife a hug. Hugs. I
Right.
love hugs.
Me too.
I
Oh,
love
hugs are
giving a
so
hug.
people don't they underestimate what a hug can do. It is
Yeah.
so amazing.
Yep.
Yes, yes, and
Hugs
I have
are
a dog
important.
and 2 cats, and my cat they just cuddle and everything else, and I just love it. It
Yeah.
just
Find
yeah,
ways. Don't continue with the excuses. Okay, it is tough. Anxiety sucks.
it does. It
And the
absolutely
people
does,
shouldn't
yeah.
say, well, you need to get over it. No, they shouldn't say
No.
that to you. But you need to find outlets like exercise. I like to do exercise. Now, next time, okay, if you get anxiety,
Mhm.
anybody out there, the next time you have an anxiety attack and your heart's beating and people say, oh, your heart doesn't race, bull crap.
It does.
Take your fist and just squeeze your fists. And just
Oh,
squeeze your fists. And
okay.
it might work for you. That might help
Yeah,
you slow down, and that might get that extra energy or whatever's going on to
yeah,
release. I like to do
yeah.
yard work sometimes. That helps me with my
Mhm.
anxiety, you know?
Yep,
So you just got to figure those things out because those things will affect your business. If you
yeah.
have anxiety of talking to people like this, do it
Mhm.
more. Do it more. Go on Alignable.
Right.
Go on Alignable.
Mhm.
Go to a Smart Connect and talk
Mhm.
about your business. I got into I had wicked anxiety when I started this business because still
Mhm.
didn't know what I was doing. But I
Right.
joined the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh.
Yeah, I joined the Chamber of
Oh.
Commerce. I remember my first interaction with somebody. I was trying to get my business cards out. They all fell on the ground. I'm like,
Oh, no.
oh,
That's
oh my
something I
God.
do. Oh,
Yeah.
so
Duh.
bad. I know. I'm like, "Why? Why
Yeah.
am I doing
Yeah.
this?"
And I'm like,
Yes.
oh, but I plowed through it. I plowed through it. I
Yes.
won a chance to go present my business at the Staples for their whatever, their
Ah!
chamber convention or whatever. And I wasn't going to say no.
Oh,
I did it.
no.
I put
Oh
a
my
reel
gosh.
together on video. I brought one of my monitors. I
Oh,
hooked it up. I had business cards. I had all that stuff.
oh
And
my
I
gosh.
was just like, I'm going to do this. This is an opportunity. I'm going to
Mhm.
do this. I got to get over my fears of
Yeah.
talking to people about my business. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to
Right.
make mistakes, but
Mhm.
it's okay. There's enough work out there. If you go, you can find work. There's enough work out there for all of us. Just
Mhm.
depends on what you want.
Right.
Just depends on what
That's
you
true.
want.
That's so true. Oh my god, that's so true, and you're just saying about the anxiety, it overtakes your entire body. You do. You have to find ways
Yeah.
to get through it, to get through that moment where you're like, "Okay, I'm gonna function through it,"
Right, right. Because
and that
there are
yeah,
moments that are scary.
there are moments. There are a lot of mo yeah, I
I've
get
had
the
a lot
same
of
thing.
praying to
Yep.
God moments.
Yes, me too. I'm like, "Please, God, please, just
Yeah,
make me God." But I do, it can overtake your entire being, like, your
yeah,
entire being. Suddenly, I don't even know who I am for a minute. I'm like, "Stop, just
right.
stop." But it takes a lot of talking to yourself, talking to God,
Mhm.
talking "Please, please."
Yeah,
Yeah,
figuring
it is,
out
and
what
we're all,
works. Figuring out what
and
works.
right, and like you said, and we're not alone. That's the whole
No,
thing. You're not
you're not
alone.
alone.
You think you're the only one. It's not true.
And then with
It's not true at all.
ADHD, if you have a problem focusing,
Mhm.
turn off everything that's around you that's distracting you and start
Yeah.
scheduling out your day. Start scheduling
Mhm.
out half your day or scheduling
Yeah.
out your whole day. If you
Yeah.
don't get to everything, that's okay. You move it to the next day.
Mhm.
It's just like if you have a schedule in front of you, you can see with the tasks that you need to complete. It's not that,
Mhm.
it's a pretty beautiful, it's a beautiful thing. It
Yeah.
works.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Oh my gosh, Brad, this is so awesome. I love hanging out with you. I can keep you
Hey.
all night. But I wanna
Yeah.
ask you,
Yeah. Yeah.
before you finish us with the quote, not yet, but
Yeah.
anything I didn't ask you that you wanna share that I didn't ask you about?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I just, if I run a group, it's a free group. It's called the Fortress of Voiceover Solitude. And it's on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, and we have a lot
Mhm.
of guest speakers that I've recorded, and I keep in that Facebook group page that you can go view. Rob Morera. We've had a lot of different people that were
Mhm.
beneficial. I have Evelyn McCauley coming in to talk about audiobooks and how to maintain and keep clients happy in the
So
audiobook
great.
world this Thursday. It's
That's
free to
wonderful.
join. I just want to meet with you one on one on a Zoom call so I get to know you a little bit better.
Mhm.
I am kind of picky. I like to have people that are going to contribute and be a part. And we talk through Messenger, Facebook Messenger, and
Mm.
I post everything on Facebook Business. It's I would have used another platform, but it's. This has been around for a while now. I mean,
It
we've been
yeah,
around for a while. We got like probably about 50 members. They're all over the place. And
that's so
I
great.
do
Yeah.
meetings every other Thursday, and
Mhm.
at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And they're just meetings to either if you want to run over a script, if you want to just talk about and get things off your chest, this is what it's for. It's not going to be something that's really intense where you got to be nervous. We're just getting together, talking about our experiences. And once a month, I have a guest speaker to come on. And I wanted to use the group because if you have something you want to practice teaching,
Mhm.
the fortress is the place to do it.
Mm.
If you want to, if you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this for money, or I don't think I can. Well, do it present yourself in the fortress group, set it up for
Yeah.
a Thursday meeting. It's only 45 minutes. So I think anybody could do that and just see, you know, what you're made
Mhm.
of. It's great.
That's great. That is really great. I'm in the group. I haven't gotten on a Zoom yet,
That's
but I
okay.
want to. But I do. No, I love you guys talk about a lot of great stuff in there. So I always see the messages, and I always see that, and once in a while I
Yeah.
might comment and stuff. But yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's a great group of people. I can tell, and and I just love that, and it's so important that just being together and coordinating things together and all that. I think
Well,
it's
yeah, and
wonderful.
and on me, it's an accountability thing for me. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if there's one person in there, I don't care if there's 10. I know every
Mm-hmm.
other week I'm going to set up that meeting
Yeah,
and
it's great.
whoever joins me is cool. We'll hang out and talk. I get
Yeah,
to
I
catch
think
up
it's
with my
perfect.
friends. And
Yeah.
so and
And it keeps you motivated. It keeps you, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, like energized,
yeah, it keeps you
you
fresh.
know?
It keeps you
It does. It
fresh.
really does. It
And
really does.
I try to share, all these posts from podcasts and stuff like that. I try to share the podcast because a lot of
Mhm.
the group members they have podcasts or they have masterminds or they're doing something that they want shared. And I try to share it.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the
So if you
goal.
can share links with me after the fact, and I'm gonna put it in the show notes as well, all the links to everything
Oh,
that you're
this is going to
talking
get
about, the
shared
different
big time.
things. Yeah. Oh, oh,
Of
thank you.
course.
And then
Of
I also wanna
course.
share what your links for your stuff and all
Yeah.
that and
Yeah.
everything you mentioned. Yeah, definitely. So can you finish us with a quote?
Well, hey, this is pretty awesome though. But, we talked about anxiety.
Yeah.
When life gets you down and you feel like you can't go on, you need to punch every day in the face.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That is so
Pretty
great.
beautiful
That
thing.
is so it is a beautiful thing. It
MMA
is.
days.
Oh my gosh.
I pulled through
I
my
love
MMA days. That was it.
and it's good. It's
Yeah.
really
I
good.
used to be a metal
Oh my
singer.
gosh.
I was in a band too. I sang
Were you?
metal. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can hear it. I can hear
Yeah.
it.
Those were
Oh
the good
my
old
gosh.
times. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Brad, I so appreciate you. I do
I
want to give a
appreciate
shout
you.
out to my daughter. Thank you. To my daughter, Victoria Lynn Purdy. She created the theme song
Oh,
to
cool.
my podcast. Yeah, she's a
Nice.
singer-songwriter.
Nice.
So check her out. She's
Beautiful.
got an interview on here too. But really, Brad, this was just awesome. I really
It was
appreciate you
great.
taking the time
Well, this was
and doing
great.
this.
This was great. I needed this
Aw,
on this
thank
Tuesday
you.
evening. This really brightened
Yeah.
up my day.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I could talk to you forever. You're so motivating. You bring out that energy. I love it. I really do.
That's what it's all about. We
Oh
got to
my
help each
gosh.
other. It's all about helping each other grow.
It is.
We're all going to ride
It
the
is.
wave together. Let's do it.
That's it.
Let's
And that's
do
the
it.
whole thing. Time
Yeah.
to elevate. We're all on this
Time
journey.
to,
That's my
yeah.
my whole theme. We're
Yeah.
all on this journey together. So let's elevate each other.
Yeah.
So I'm so
That's what
happy
it's
you're
all
here.
about.
Yeah. Thank you. I will talk to you soon though, and I
Yeah.
will see you soon. All right. Bye.
Bye.